Hi, guys. Welcome to the AMP podcast. AMP stands for Agent Mentorship Platform. Thanks for being here again with us today. Of course, I'm joined by my cohort, Justin Humphreys. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Mark.
And we have a special guest, Steve Beskid with Covita Lending. Stephen, thanks for being on the board. We appreciate you very much. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and follow this on all your favorite podcast libraries. And, of course, our typical sponsors, Red One Realty, couldn't do it without them, Covita Lending and Safe Pro, and also Vault Title. So today's episode, which happens to be Season 2, Episode 11, Fail to Plan, Plan to Fail. What do you think, brother?
Well, we're in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
So, every year we start to think about next year. We start planning ahead of time.
Yep.
And that's what we're going to focus on a lot during this episode. We have Steve Beskid here with us today. Thanks for joining us, Steve.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me.
One of our first repeat guests, second time on the podcast. So
Yeah.
we're glad to have you back. And you're one of our.
But actually get invited back.
Yeah.
You did. There was a discussion
Yeah.
prior to making the final decision.
The vote went your way.
We asked Stephen what he thought. He didn't really remember you, but you're memorable, in my opinion.
And you're we're proud to have you and Covita Lending as a sponsor, Steve. So we thank you for your sponsorship on the AMP podcast. We couldn't do it without you. Steve just made an incredible transition to Florida, and I'd love to talk with him about that for a little bit.
For sure.
Ohio to Florida.
Ohio to Florida, which is a kind of a popular jump.
Yeah.
People get sick of the weather here. What inspired you?
How dare you?
I know. What inspired you to make the move, Stephen? How's the transition been for you?
So the way the transition actually happened is it happened very randomly. It was not necessarily planned, which I guess goes against the topic today. But
No, it's perfect.
so I had thought about it for a while, kind of wanted to be there. And my wife and I actually a couple years ago looked at houses and were thinking about going to Sarasota. I don't know why we thought Sarasota at the time. It just kind of
It's supposed to be beautiful.
happened, and it never came together. Fast forward, I got connected to networking, right? So I got connected to a person who connected me to another person, and that person then connected me to a Compass agent in the Orlando market. And she's went out of her way to just start introducing me to other realtors. So for the better part of about
God bless her.
12 months, I'd go down every 6 weeks or so, fill up my calendar, meet with 5, 6, 7, 8 agents, fly back home. So I did that for about, 14 months or so. And started to kind of garner some business that way. And then for the longest time, my wife was still against it.
What was her reasoning?
Didn't want to move.
Yeah, family here.
Family is all here. We have no family down there. So she was against it. She didn't want to do it. She gave me some
Very good reasons not to.
reasons, and then she started to come around Q4 last year probably. And she gave me a couple well, if you can find this and this, then I'll consider it. So it came
I
around.
like her negotiating style.
Yeah. So, but you guys know me. You give me a target, I'm going to hit it. So I found XYZ, and then it was still no. So fast forward to about February of this past year. I came home late from the office one night. My wife and kids are asleep. We're in an early house. There's a letter on the counter, right? I go over. It's on our island. I walk over, read it, and it's a letter from a real estate agent that they've got a client that we lived in Kinsale on the golf course, and at the time, not much ever came on the market on the course. Like, hey, I got a client. They're a member. They really want to be on the course, willing to make a seller-friendly offer. So we get up in the morning. I asked my wife, I'm like, hey, what'd you leave this out for? I thought the move was a no. And she goes, well, I've really been praying about what we should do the last week, and then we just got this letter in the mail.
Yes.
And I go, okay, well, you want me to reach out? And then, the rest is kind of history from there. So honestly, it was kind of planned, but also random at the same time.
Well, it makes sense because there is a plan.
Right.
It's just we're not in charge of it.
Right. It wasn't necessarily my plan or her plan.
Well, you mentioned the prayer piece, and that's critical.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was really thinking it through.
You know what else I heard? I'm reading this great book right now called Never Split the Difference. I'm not sure if you guys have read it or not, but it's written by a FBI hostage negotiator, and it's all about negotiations, and he always says that no is the best starting point to any negotiation, because there's a party that feels comfortable. No is their comfort zone, and she presented you with a couple things that needed to happen in order for that negotiation to succeed, and you found those, and yeah, that's so.
It just built on itself. It's been a fun experience. What's been nice is I've laid the groundwork for the business.
Sure.
So when I got there, it wasn't just like I was starting over, right? And I'm still here every month in Columbus, right? So I'm here for a week every month, so I'm here now.
So it took about a year of planning,
yeah,
which we're going to be talking about a lot today.
A lot of structure and things business-wise over the last 18 months went into that.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so been fun.
Awesome.
Fun meeting new people. And
are you guys cohesively tickled now about the move with the right level of anxiety
for
about
sure
moving?
Yeah, no, everything, we're getting integrated. Of course, what's weird is as adults, like making new friends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
it's like a weird, the kids, it's one thing, right? Like you take your kids, they go meet another kid on the playground and they're best friends in 15 minutes, right? Adults, that's probably been the hardest. I don't know if the hardest is the right word, but that's been the most like interesting piece of it is meeting new people and like, are you my people? Are you not my people?
People are people everywhere.
So
yeah,
that's been interesting.
Well,
But
that's awesome.
To answer your question, it's been great.
Good.
We're very happy to hear that, and congratulations on that transition. It's a beautiful area down there. You're in the Orlando area, Windermere. I've got some friends that live down there. It's great when we go down and visit them.
My brother and sister-in-law live down there with their family.
Yeah,
so it's a lovely, lovely state.
It sure is, absolutely. All right, we've got some awesome sponsors here on the AMP podcast. One of them's here with us today, Steve Beskid with Covita Lending. Also, we couldn't do it without Red One Realty, Vault Title, and Safe Pro Home Warranty.
Thank you, guys.
We're going to jump right into our first kind of segment here. Steve's here, and I have folks that are listening, maybe two of the best business planning minds in Central Ohio. I'm just going to put that out there. I'm making that claim.
They must be talking about the two Steves.
No, I'm talking about Mark Dandrea, the doctor of real estate, and Steve Beskid with Covita Lending. I get a lot every time I have a conversation with these two about business planning. A lot comes of it, and we're here in quarter number 4 of 2025. So I figured it'd be a great opportunity for us to talk about 2026 business plans, 2026 goals. I know, Mark, we're kind of spooling up our AMP membership to start thinking about their 2026 business plan and goals.
Yes.
And when it comes to setting goals for the year to come, Steve, I'm going to start with you. What are your go-to guidelines when you're sitting down to set your business plan for the coming year?
Sure. I think first and foremost, you've got to consider like what's your destination, where you're trying to go. And for me, that starts with a couple pieces. So for me personally, I have a 5-year story that I've written, and it's written in the future. So like if you were to read it, it would be like, hey, today's June, whatever date, 2030.
Right. Third person-y.
Third person, correct. Yeah. That was what I was looking for. So it's written in the third person, and it's laid out like exactly in that time where I would be, right? Mm-hmm. So I think you've got to be kind of forward thinking first and foremost, right? Like you don't, if you don't use your GPS and not put an address in it, that would be kind of,
that's a great analogy.
That would be
a little confusing.
It'd be a little confusing, right? So you've got to have the destination in mind, and then you can figure out the route in terms of, where you want to get. But I think ultimately you got to kind of have this big picture goal in mind first. Like, hey, what is my why? What am I trying to accomplish? What, where is it that in this whole, development, whether it be real estate or whatever you're doing, but since we're in real estate, like what are my business goals? Where do I see myself 5 years from now? Okay, well, where does that then put me? Where do I need to be next year? Where do I need to be 2 years from now? And then you can kind of work the big goal and then we'll reverse engineer it into what that looks like on a day-to-day basis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but I think if you shoot at nothing, you're gonna hit it.
Well, and that is a more forward and longer version of like something I do in the morning, a positive affirmation, talking about a goal that I want to hit and speaking about it as though it's happening in the present tense and then I'm currently living it. Is that kind of how you write that 5-year story?
Sure. Yeah. So you go through like the different segments of your life, so business, personal, friendships, spiritual, all of that. So I it's very detailed. It's a couple pages long, and I try to read it, once a month or so. So
Yeah.
I can, because if you just write it and throw it in a drawer somewhere and never look at it again, I mean, what's that? So I try to reference that often and kind of remind myself, where it is that I, want to be. And then on a daily basis, I'm trying to, not to get foo-foo on anyone, but like visualize myself, like, what does that look like? How am I carrying myself? What are the conversations that I'm having? And like, what does that look like? So then on a day-to-day basis, you're trying to just live that out.
Yeah.
every
You're
day.
aligning, you're getting your frequencies, you're aligning yourself with those goals, manifesting that they happen.
100%.
Yeah. Love that. Mark, what about you? When you sit down to look at your 2026 business plan, what are the guidelines or some of the tools that you use, or, just your general thought process for that?
Steve mentioned it earlier, and we do this with all the AMP agents. So anything in life starts with a vision. I have a vision for what it is that I wish to achieve. We all have our own definition of success. We've often talked about this. We have 110 agents on the platform now, growing rapidly to 200. We want to get to as many as we can. Those are all human beings, and they have a different definition of success. That could, that they can apply that to their health and their wealth and their family and their social life and their spiritual life. But it's all different. In our business, it's transactions, right? So we've got agents that are really happy doing 2 or 4 or 6 transactions a year, others that want to do 15 or 16, and others that want to do 20 plus. The key there is writing it down. So we have all of our agents do a vision sheet and revisit that vision sheet quarterly, but it's certainly done for a year. So, and we have them make 3 copies of it. Again, Steve alluded to it earlier. If it's not in front of you,
Right.
it's something that your life will help you forget real quick, because there's a lot going on in the world. So we have them write it down. It's usually transactional, so a number of transactions. I've done that for myself already for 2026, and then that converts into, of course, the amount of commission you'd like to make. But the key is having one. This is you said it earlier. It sounds like a trope. It sounds trite, but it's real and it works. We have them put one on their refrigerator, keep one in their office, and carry one with them. Mine is out in my satchel in the car right now. So starts with a vision. So my planning is a vision, and then that step 2 is, well, what's the plan to achieve that vision, and then how are we going to set aside time to execute that? So it's very 3-step. Vision, what's the plan, how do I set aside time to execute it? And it's always written down.
Vision, plan, time blocking.
Vision, plan, time blocking.
So for those of you on the AMP team, or if you're a Red One Realty agent, you're not on the AMP team, or if you're a real estate agent out there that's not a part of AMP or Red One and you're watching this, reach out, contact us, sit down. We offer free business planning sessions to any agents that are interested. There's no obligation. There's no hook. You get a 45-minute one-on-one with one of the best in the game over here, Mark Dandrea, to identify your plan, your vision, and your time blocking to get you there.
We'd love to do that for you. Please reach out. 614-395-6275. That's my cell phone number. Just shoot me a text.
That's it. Steve, you do a monthly insider call where we talk just briefly about mortgage, and then we get into the last
business,
one I was on was all about business planning, which is why I thought it would be fitting to talk about this. What's up next for your monthly insider call? Do you have any plans for this month?
No, not yet. And honestly, the way I do those on a monthly basis, because we speak often, and most of the agents that I'm partnered with, we speak often. And generally speaking, the way that insider call comes together is really just from
through conversations
yeah. and consistent themes. Because you talk to 50, 60 realtors over the course of a month, and hey, what are your pain points? What do you experience? And you generally see a consistent
Pattern.
theme, right? And it's like, okay, well, this is, so the topic generally just kind of organically comes. The business planning one was, obviously a good one. I think it was one of my better attended ones also. But yeah, I mean, you guys obviously being in coaching understand this. Like, there are so many agents out there that just have no direction. They're just on an island, right? So, what's nice is to be able to pour into people, to be a resource, because, at the end of the day, for me, being a lender, like, you have how many lenders reach out to you that send you information on rates? Like, you can only read about rates so many different ways, right?
A dozen a week.
Right. So, okay, well, someone else has already touched on that. I'm not going to go ahead and, beat that horse anymore. But how can I pour into you and help you from a business standpoint? Because I invest a lot into myself from a coaching standpoint. So how can I take some of that, repackage it, repurpose it, and then pour into other people? And that's generally speaking, overall what the goal of the insider call is.
Yeah, that's awesome. The insider call, I really enjoyed. I've been a part of 2 of them so far. If people want to find that or sign on for that, how might they do that?
Honestly, probably the best way. So find me on Instagram at Steve Beskid. Shoot me a DM, and I can get you on there and get you on the invite list.
Awesome.
Mike Hall Coaching, same format, very similar. We have a once a month call. He invites all the agents onto it, and it's very organic. I mean, he has a plan. He presents things very well. Mike Hall Coaching. You can see him on Instagram. He's got a YouTube channel, and it's very much what's happening out there. How can I assist? That's the key, is how can we assist others to achieve their vision in real estate? Sure. Period.
Yeah.
End of story. That's the way we think with clients. It's your vision to own. That's the way we think with our agents. That's the way we think with our family and our friends. How can we help you?
Yeah. Yeah, and as agents, it's great to have industry partners like yourself, the home builder reps that we partner with, our broker that has coaching. It's great to partner with people that are aligned with you as far as goals, similar goals we want to achieve and success. Red One Realty has an abundance of that. AMP has an abundance of that. We've got a full catalog of vendors and partners that we work with, people like Steve and others that help us get there. So, guys, 2026 is coming. It's right around the corner. So set up your business planning session. Jump on a monthly insider call with Steve. Start looking at it now because it's going to be here before you know it. The holidays are creeping up on us, and by the time you get there, you're too focused on Santa Claus coming or whatever your holiday festivities might be. It's too late by that time. So get a jump on it. Let's start business planning.
Let's do it now.
We're not going to do it.
That's right.
That's it. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with our next segment. Hey guys, thanks for tuning into the AMP podcast. We want to give a quick shout out to one of our great sponsors at Safe Pro Home Warranty. Diana and Clayton have got you covered. If you move into your house within the first year and something goes wrong, like your hot water tank, your air conditioner, or your furnace, they are going to help you cover the cost of that so you don't have to do the whole thing out of pocket. So reach out to Diana and Clayton today to get your coverage set up at Safe Pro Home Warranty. Thanks for watching.
Welcome back to the Agent Mentorship Platform Podcast, AMP Podcast. Thanks a lot for viewing, guys. We really appreciate it. Don't forget to check us out, like and subscribe on all your favorite podcast libraries. This particular segment is the AMP Action Plan, and it's sponsored by Safe Pro Home Warranty. Did I get that right?
You did. That was beautifully delivered.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So what's the AMP Action Plan for you? Or do you want me to start?
Well, we're going to start with yours. When we kind of prep for these episodes, I kind of asked you, hey, what are some plans you'd like to highlight? And you had mentioned that geofarming with RPR reports has been something that AMP agents have been finding a lot of success with lately, and you wanted to talk about.
We'll put that in English. Geofarming with RPR. We know what that means. Geofarming, guys, for those of you watching and listening, geofarming is your ability as a licensed real estate agent to identify a community that you have a high level of comfort with, or a community that you would like to, we'll just use the word dominate. And geofarming is your ability to reach out, connect, and assist and educate those homeowners in that community with the various services that we practice as we market real estate services. So your messaging could be anything that you choose, but it's about consistency. Certainly it's a budgetary item. What am I sending? What's my message? How do I assist and educate the folks that live in this community? How can I help them achieve their vision of selling their current home and buying another home? And one of the great tools that is provided to us by the Columbus MLS is called RPR. It's a report that provides the homeowner with a range of value, and it takes into account a number of things that are specific to that location. So school system, closeness to dining, entertainment, highways, condition of the homes that have sold. And it's a wonderful report. It's a great analysis of what the value of your home might be. And you brought this up, Justin, so you might want to talk about it. But I'm not clear, and Steve can piggyback on this. I'm not clear that that folks understand fully the tremendous value that's in their home. And I guess I understand why. Home for us is home, right? We think of it as an investment in our home, and I'm not sure that people are aware of how quickly their home rises in value. Over the last 5 years, I think the average is 8.3% in equity gain. That's just the market saying housing prices are moving up on an average of 8.3% a year. That doesn't count the payments you make that reduce your mortgage.
Right.
So the RPR report gives a great value to our clients that own homes that we would like to engage with and educate and assist. It allows them to get a really good sense of just how well their home is treating them financially. So geofarming with the RPR report is a big deal. Our agents are finding tremendous success with it. Not only success in educating and being of assistance to folks and bringing some facts to them, but it definitely turns into listing appointments.
Yeah.
So I like geofarming.
Yeah, and I love geofarming as well. And we have a great sponsor here on the AMP podcast that can help you with your geofarming if you need it. Vault Title. Reach out to Carly Lear. She's one of the best in the game when it comes to assisting agents and liaisoning with agents on getting their geofarm started, pulling those addresses, getting the design laid out. Mark, I know you're partial to a really nice pop art style geofarm card. Whenever you do geofarms, it really stands out against stuff that other people send out.
Yeah, there's no disparagement to what comes to my mailbox. I love it when agents in my community are actively engaging with everybody.
Sure.
In general, they all look pretty similar.
Right.
There's a lot of just listed, just sold type
Lots
stuff.
of pretty headshots.
Lots of pretty headshots and a picture of a house, which is fine. I just think that when I'm reaching out to somebody, I want to be educational, but I also want it to have some entertainment value.
You want to stand out.
I want to stand out, and certainly with a particular message. So yes, pop art's a big deal to me. I want what I'm providing to my potential clients and my current clients and my family and my friends to have some efficacy. I'd like them to pay attention. So yeah, pop art's a big deal to me.
Well, I love that
it's easy. It's fun.
Yeah, I love that you brought up geofarming with the RPR report because I do something similar annually for my clients that has a lot of effect and a lot of value and a lot of reach. So I geofarm in a sense, but to my database rather than to a particular community. I do it on an annual basis. It's called the annual real estate review, where we reach out to our past closed clients and we give them, or it doesn't even have to be a closed client. It could be somebody I met. Maybe I didn't sell them their house, but I have their address. I have the ability to generate the report. I reach out, schedule a cup of coffee or a lunch with them, sit down and hand them a folder. And it's got something very similar to the RPR report where it's got their updated market value of their home, some other metrics for their neighborhood, just to give them an update on their equity, touch base with them once a year, stay in a flow state with them. And so that it's basically the same thing that the RPR report encloses. And I find that, like you said, people are busy. They think about their home as their home, and they're busy with the kids and make sure the bills are paid and working and doing all that stuff that makes home great. And it's great to give them an update on where they stand financially with the value of their home. Steve, do you do any kind of annual kind of real estate review with your closed clients as well?
So we do we call it an annual mortgage review. So similar language, right? But that's something we tee up with the client on a post-close call. So we do a 7-day post-close call with every loan we close. So we're gonna reach out, go over first payment, all the junk mail they're going to get, kind of lay the groundwork for how our communication is going to go forward. Because I also want them to know, like, hey, I'm not just going to do your loan and wave by and never talk to you again. So I'm going to reach out. I tell them I'm going to reach out on your birthday. I actually have a funny story on that. I called. This is fun to segue a little bit, but it's like 9:30. I started my birthday calls earlier one morning. So I call this client. This lady picks up the phone. Wish her happy birthday. And she goes, well, this is just great. My mortgage guy is the first person to wish me happy birthday. She's like depressed about it. And I was like, well, I said, well, happy birthday.
My kids walked out the door, didn't say it. But my mortgage.
Do those at 4:30 or 5:30 in the afternoon. Give the family a chance, man.
There were two people that day that said the same thing. So it was really funny. She sounded uber depressed. And I'm like, well, hopefully someone else wishes you happy birthday today. But, I lay the groundwork for what our communication is going to look like going forward. And one of those is an annual mortgage review. And so, I tell them, hey, around this time next year, we're going to reach out and we go over, of course, the hot button topics, rates, payments, long-term plans, interest savings. Can we get rid of PMI? But we go into home equity and value and what that means. And then also talk about more long-term plans like, what's changed life-wise in the last 12 months? Kids, dogs, schools, jobs, whatever. Because for me, when an agent refers over a buyer, I want to get them in our ecosystem and I want them to stay there. And I want them to refer so I can then refer those back to whoever, referred. So to me, that's very important in laying that groundwork and that framework for the client to let them know, like, hey, you go live in your house. Let home be home.
Love it.
I'll update you on it. You don't need to worry about it. I'll reach out and I'll keep you posted.
That dovetails really nice. We can end this, I think, this way. Our job starts when our clients close.
Yeah, that's something you always say, Mark. Our job starts when our clients close. For those of you out there listening, pay attention because Steve and Mark are both describing your groundwork for staying engaged with your clients after closing. Steve does a post-closing call where he's setting up that next contact of the annual real estate review or whatever that next contact is. Mark, you have a little analogy for it. You call it
3-7-30-60-90.
3-7-30-60-90. That's Mark Dandrea's recipe for post-closing follow-up.
I call all of my clients 3 days after they've closed and just ask them how they're doing. I know they're busy. If you need anything from me, and 7 days later, remind them that, hey, whether we got a home warranty or not with your contract, want to make sure that that's in place and that they remember and recall that they have that. Homeowners, we all do this. Something breaks down, we tend to try to fix it ourselves. If you got a home warranty, that's not necessary. And then at 30, 60, and 90 days, just reaching out, making sure they're doing okay, and confirming that the process went well for them, thanking them for entrusting us with that, and asking for referrals.
Yeah. So what you're hearing is planning and tracking. Steve Beskid will tell you first, if you don't track it, you don't care. They're planning these touches, they're tracking the touches, and they're staying engaged with their closed clients because that's where your valuable referrals are going to come from. If you take care of those people, they're going to send you referrals. And these are two great methods to stay extremely engaged with them. So please take note of that. And if you're not doing it, maybe start doing it. I know we talked a lot about that with the AMP agents.
To tie that back into business planning, which is kind of where we started, right? In terms of this and the tracking, when you go to set your business plan for the year, that's where this tracking becomes very important. Because if say you're an agent that's been 4 years into it, right? And it's like, I've got this plan for this year, but if you don't know what contributed to your success or lack thereof the last 12 months, like how do you create an action plan going forward? Like, hey, let me sit down because I track everything. I've got spreadsheets upon spreadsheets. But for me, if there's a hole in my business, I can figure it out.
It'll show up.
It'll show up pretty quickly. And it's like, okay, well, I was light here, so this year I need to make this an emphasis to get where I need to go. And I think that's all very important.
Geofarming, open houses, bold trail, social media, networking, conversations, all of the tools that we deploy on AMP are all designed to fill that pipeline and, of course, allow you to track your business forward so that you can say, okay, that came from this. Let's double down on that.
Yeah.
That didn't work the last 12 months. Do I adjust it or do I start doing something else?
Right.
And that's what we went over on that insider call. Like I have a sheet and I call it a marketing and sales inventory. And it's like, you kind of split your business into the buckets that, like you were just alluding to, that deals can come from, whether it's social or geofarming or whatever it is, right? And you kind of lay those out and it's like, okay, well, last year I had this many deals come from this bucket. I had this many deals come from this bucket. And then under each category, you're then going to go through and start to get a little deeper and be like, okay, well, what activities in this bucket do I need to focus on to get a lift here? how many activities do I need to focus on in social media to get a lift here? Maybe I'm only posting once a week. I'm going to post 3 times a week, or I'm going to post every day, and so on and so forth, right? But if you're not tracking where the deals came from, you're just kind of playing whack-a-mole without a stick. Like,
Well, and the way we talk about it on the AMP platform is there's a lot of shiny objects in our world.
Mm-hmm.
If we focus on those items that we're an expert at, that we can bring education and assistance and facts to, and really be consistent with those 3 or 4 or 5 silos, your business becomes more maintainable, more sustainable, more long-lasting. You can keep your head down and keep moving forward, rather than, worrying about the next shiny object that comes onto the market.
Right.
Not to say that those shiny objects aren't good.
Justin likes quotes. This is one we use in our coaching platform all the time. Simple scales, fancy fails.
Yeah.
Love it.
Simple
Just like
scales,
simple.
fancy fails.
My coach used to tell me, keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
That's what he used to tell me. All right.
We beat that to death.
Well, that was a good one. That was one I like to beat to death because it's important. Guys, we're going to move into segment 3, the Agent Spotlight, sponsored by our friends at Vault Title. Shout out to Vault Title. I'll go ahead and start, Mark, if you don't mind. I want to give a big shout out. We just had a big AMP fall client event where all of our 110 AMP agents had the opportunity to invite their clients to come to Pigeon Roost Farm in Hebron, Ohio.
That place is great.
It was awesome. I unfortunately had to miss it, but I saw the pictures. I just got the videos and pictures. They look incredible. It looked like you guys had an absolute blast.
We did.
And it's one of the value ads that AMP has included in our repertoire, where we're gonna be holding these biannual events where the AMP agents are able to invite their clientels and their families and stay engaged and stay in a flow state and stay top of mind and give back to the agents. So I want to give a big shout out to all the agents that participated. If you signed up and brought your clients, kudos to you. If you didn't, if you missed this one, catch us on the next one. It should be sometime around early spring. So I want to give a shout out to those agents.
And one of those agents who is brand new to the AMP platform, I want to give a shout out to Kara Kehoe. Kara Kehoe started on the AMP platform maybe 3 weeks ago, 3 or 4, and she is absolutely hyper-focused on education, assistance, bringing facts and expertise to all of her family and friends and clients. So Kara, thanks for being there. She was there with her husband and her children. It was a great time. She's very engaged, and Kara is going to be an outstanding agent and an asset to her family and friends and clients in the future. So well done, Kara. Thanks for being a part of AMP. We appreciate you.
Yeah, we do. Kara made a really nice post on the Red One Facebook group page telling everybody about the success of the event and just the great atmosphere and her experience with AMP so far. So thanks for that, Kara. We appreciate you.
And thank you, Dana and Sheila, for being kind of the spearhead to set that up. There are 6 co-leaders on the AMP platform. 2 of them took the ball and ran with it on this one. So thank you, Dana and Sheila.
Absolutely. Shout out to you guys as well. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with our Ask the Coach segment, sponsored by Steve Beskid from Covita Lending. We'll be right back, guys. Quick shout out to our lender, Covita Lending. Guys, in today's marketplace, there are many lending options, so why choose Covita? At Covita, they ease the burden of financing by offering a worry-free transaction from pre-approval to close, keeping you educated, updated, and in the know every step of the way. That's Covita Lending's pledge to you. Reach them at 740-255-6220 or email steve@covitalending.com.
Welcome back to the AMP podcast. That stands for Agent Mentorship Platform. Don't forget to like and subscribe us. Guys, we appreciate you viewing and watching and listening to these. This segment is Ask the Coach, sponsored by Covita Lending. So, Justin.
Yes.
Ask the coach.
All right, I'm going to ask you, Coach. This is a question that comes up a lot on the AMP platform from agents, especially newer agents that might be, trying to get their name out there, breaking into the business, letting people know that they're a marketer of real estate services. Coach, how does real estate come up in conversations? How can we get to real estate when we're having conversations in networking with people?
Well, let's start at the beginning of conversations. I mean, every bit of business that we conduct in real estate, in the mortgage world, starts with a conversation. I mean, it's just really that simple. It could start anywhere, text, email, direct message, you're at a social event, you're networking, you're at an open house, you've been geo-farming with a client for a while, and suddenly a conversation starts. So the question that comes up a lot with newer agents, and I usually ask them this question, I'll ask it of you guys in a second. What am I supposed to say when real estate comes up as a newer agent? All of these answers are truthful. Hey, I just got started. I'm on this thing called AMP. I joined Red One. I'm learning a lot. Not a lot of experience yet. So all of those answers are true. They make sense, especially when you're dealing with family or friends. You certainly want to be truthful. But an answer for real estate coming up in any conversation, if it comes up of its own, is, hey, there's 5,600 houses on the market. Interest rates are from 2.99% for new builds, no offense, up to like I think I checked yesterday, there's 6.3 on a national average. What do you got for interest rates?
I just quoted one out for yesterday. We were 5.9.
5.9. So have some statistics that are within your purview as an expert in real estate to share with people when they're asking you about real estate. This is the question I ask. So I don't think I asked you. You'd been in real estate for 4 years. New agent, and I'm on a Zoom. Hey, Justin, let's talk about conversations you might have. So answer this question for me. Since you've gotten your license 4 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, whenever it was, have people been coming up to you and asking you, how's real estate? How you doing in the market? How's the market? The answer 100% of the time is yes. So we want to provide the agents on the AMP mentorship platform with an answer that makes sense and is truthful. So that answer might be more along the lines of, it's fun that you asked, Steve. I'm on a team with over 60 years of experience, and we get asked that question a lot. There's about 5,600 houses on the market right now, and interest rates are between 2.99 and 5.99. Heck, I remember 2 falls ago, they were approaching 9%, so interest rates are a lot better. This time last year, there were about 3,800 houses on the market. There's 5,600 now, so it's a great time to be in real estate. What makes you ask? And you can just let that kind of sit there, right? I want to continue the conversation. Conversations are made up of 3 elements. This, again, sounds trite, but it's true, and you'll recognize them all. We're curious about each other. We want to give information. We also want to get information from whomever you're talking with, because that's the beginning of a relationship in real estate. It starts with a conversation. There you have it.
Yeah, I like that.
I hope so.
I do. I really do.
The question you ask is very important. Why do you ask?
Yeah,
right?
Because what makes you ask?
Right, and it's easy to just kind of show up and throw up. Like somebody asks you something, and you just like want to start like, and it might not even be applicable to their
question,
to their question or their scenario, right? And I think in any instance, it's having a genuine curiosity and asking open-ended questions that. If somebody asks you that question, there's a reason you ask. I mean, I'm sure some people are just genuinely curious since you just got your license, but everybody's got a place they live. People are curious, right? So figure out why. Figure out what's the intention. There's some sort of intention there.
It's the truth. It's fun. It's fun when people ask you about real estate. It's also fun when people don't ask you about real estate, don't know what you do, for real estate to come up as well.
Yeah, and one tip I might have for the agents out there that are a little more introverted, that maybe are a little afraid to dive in or initiate those conversations, buy a branded shirt with real estate or Red One Realty on it. Wear something. Wear a Red One hat. I mean, if anything on your body says real estate, people are going to ask you about it. You don't even have to bring it up.
Without a doubt.
There's ways to let people know what you do without being a cornball at the same
That's
time.
That's what I typically do.
Sponsor your kid's little league team.
Yeah.
Like there's 1,000 things you can do.
Yeah, our kids invited Aaron and I to. Have you ever been to Penn, Stephen? Okay, so our kids invited us. This was 2 or 3 years ago. It was an Ohio State Saturday, and they invited a bunch of their high school and college friends, and we had some family there. So we had the patio just packed with folks that I was familiar with, and they were familiar with me. We were there for 8 hours. I talked about real estate for 2 of it, if you add all the little snippets together. not because I'm walking around saying, "Hey, Steve, do you want to buy or sell a house?" Or Justin, how you doing?
Right.
Let's buy a house. It just comes up. So you want to bring facts, educate, assist people, find out why they're curious about real estate, and gather that information to you, and those become future clients. So it's just a conversation.
Yeah, and I find that real estate is one of the topics that people love to talk about. And
Real estate is on everyone's mind.
Right.
It's in the zeitgeist.
yeah,
The last stat I saw, so this could be a misquote, please forgive me, 33% of our gross national product is
revolves around real estate. Yeah,
Think of all the people that are involved in real estate, the various aspects of it.
yeah.
So yeah, it's always on someone's mind. Why wouldn't a home be on someone's mind? And your home can be anything. I get that. But owning a home is, without doubt, and it will never change, is the great American dream.
I can think of two conversations that transactions have come from. One that I had and one that you had that I watched. One conversation, I'm at my next door neighbor's backyard party, and the guy says he's from Hilliard, and I simply say, "Oh, I had a closing in Hilliard, maybe 2 months ago over on such and such street." And then 1, 2, 3, 4 people around me have now heard that I'm a real estate agent or I'm involved in real estate, and at some
real
point,
estate services.
and at some point, I'm going to have a conversation with each of those people. So that's a real life, just kind of example of how you can ease into that without saying, "Hey, I'm a realtor." And also a conversation I saw Mark have. We were volunteering at the Ronald McDonald House, and I would keep telling this to agents because it was pretty inspiring when I watched it. But one of the volunteer liaisons at the Ronald McDonald House when we were there volunteering just struck up, just came by and said hi, and Mark said, "Hello, how are you today?" And they started a conversation. Mark, having imbued his world with real estate and just being naturally curious about people, "Hey, great day today. Yeah, we love Columbus. Oh, did you grow up here?" Mark said, "Did you grow up here?" She said, "Yes, I did." "Where'd you go to high school?" "Northland." "When did you graduate?" "78. I graduated in 74 or 72. Turns out they were next door neighbors growing up. And not that it matters, but before we left that volunteering appointment that day, Mark had set up an appointment with her to discuss selling her house, which I think is in the process of going on the market currently.
I just want to help her.
Right.
Right. It was fun that we knew each other. The world is very small, and all we talked about was, how can I help you?
But you could have been closed off and shut down, and that could have slipped right by you.
Yeah, well, maybe. We're out in the world as human beings.
Right.
And we certainly should care about each other and pray for each other and want to do for others and be of service. So if you're just open to talking with people on occasion, that's somebody that you can help in the future. And I don't know that it's not specific to a person. We're all here to be of assistance to each other.
Well, and the point I want to make is that there's transactions walking around you all the time. There's people.
Without a doubt.
Let me rephrase that. There's people that need assistance around you all the time.
Yes.
And if you don't engage in those conversations or invite them or allow them to happen, some of them you're going to miss.
Without a doubt.
That reminds me of another quote: "Being shy is expensive."
Can be.
Man, Steve, you're a quote generator.
Being shy is expensive. And then also, like, when you meet people, just be curious. Like,
Yes.
you ask, like, "Hey, are you from here? Where'd you go to school? When'd you graduate?"
Forward questions, frog questions.
I just want to know. It's fun.
Yeah. Gina calls that, she says that interesting people are interested. So if you feel that someone's interested in you genuinely, you're more drawn to that and open to that.
Yes, and I don't know that it's even feeling that way. That's just being.
Sure.
We're
People
human
like
beings.
go talk to somebody. People like to talk about themselves. Go ask them some questions. And
We all
generally,
do.
well, I mean, who doesn't like answering questions about themselves, right?
Yeah.
So thanks for bringing that up. That's I know that this is something that we talk about all the time on the platform, but
I just wish I had a video camera, because I think that moment was inspiring for me and should be inspiring for a lot of AMP agents out there that are, just maybe not AMP agents in general, but for anybody out there that's a little bit introverted, just be open to talking to people. Be ready to be of assistance when the time happens.
I hope it's inspiring for the person we're talking about. It's fun.
Yeah.
For me,
I can tell.
I think we all have fun.
Absolutely. We're going to take our last commercial break, and when we come back, we are going to talk about mindset and how much it matters, and that's going to be sponsored by Steve Beskid with Covita Lending. Guys, we'll be right back. Quick shout out to our lender, Covita Lending. Guys, in today's marketplace, there are many lending options, so why choose Covita? At Covita, they ease the burden of financing by offering a worry-free transaction from pre-approval to close, keeping you educated, updated, and in the know every step of the way. That's Covita Lending's pledge to you. Reach them at 740-255-6220 or email steve@covitalending.com.
All right. Welcome back to the AMP podcast, the Agent Mentorship Platform. Thanks for being here, guys. We appreciate your viewing and subscribing and liking this and enjoying it on all your podcast platforms. This is segment 5, our final segment, and it's Mindset Matters. Mindset matters.
It does matter.
It does.
Absolutely. We talk about it a lot on AMP, how much it matters.
Well, you're self-employed.
Yeah.
You know, you're not going to an office or somewhere punching in and punching out. There's no employer or supervisor looking over your shoulder. You must drive your business, or it will drive you. It will definitely not drive itself. So your mindset each day that you intend to engage in real estate matters.
Steve, what do you, when it comes to mindset, what are some things that drive you and keep your mindset in a positive, forward-moving way?
I think first and foremost, it goes back to where we started, right? Having that vision and thinking on it constantly, right? Because if it's easy to get distracted, right, and get pulled in different directions, right? So if you don't have that constant reminder of like, hey, this is kind of like my North Star, this is my goal, it's easy to get distracted, get the wrong things in your mind. I also think it's very important to constantly be feeding your mind the right things on a consistent basis, like whether that's reading, studying, meditation, prayer, whatever it might be. Like at the end of the day, I just had a coaching conference last week, and this last conference, they spent an entire day outside of just the business tactical things, talking about just personal development, right? Like developing your mind, your body. Like they had just a health and wellness person speak, right? Like, so if you're not winning in every area, right, like both personally and professionally, then you're not really winning at all. Like, what good is it to go crush your business and then be divorced, or
right,
you have a terrible relationship with your kids? I know we're going to talk a little bit about work-life balance, but I think that it starts with you got to put your own oxygen mask on first, take care of yourself, and then you can't pour out of an empty cup. Right. So I can't go pour into other people or be that assistance or that resource for others if I'm not kind of filling myself up. And I think that one starts with that forward-thinking vision and being focused on that, and then you can kind of make progress towards that on a daily basis.
We've all got these categories in our life, right? You've got family, faith, even if it's in yourself, social life, and many agents have work outside of real estate. So that mindset is hypercritical as it relates to setting aside the time to imbue your world with real estate. That's what we call it on the AMP platform. That doesn't mean you have to eat it, sleep it, drink it. It's just when you are engaged in real estate, imbuing your world with real estate is important. That's what makes having conversations about real estate so simple. That doesn't mean that I walk out of the house or I get up out of bed and I wake my wife up and say, it's another day in real estate, honey, let's go get it. It just means...
Try that. Let me know how it goes.
Yeah, it's not going to go well. First of all, we sleep with our dogs and they would probably bite me for waking her up. But sorry, babe, to invoke your name there. Imbue your world with real estate is a mindset. And you've heard me say it repeatedly. It comes back to offering in real estate facts to people and educating them and assisting them with whatever it is about their home that they need, and bringing a level of expertise to that becomes very quickly trustworthy. So that's imbuing your world with real estate. It's not, you got to eat it, sleep it, drink it. It's, hey, I'm a licensed real estate agent in the state of Ohio. It is my job in my business to bring facts to people about real estate, to educate them and assist them and bring expertise. That's imbuing your world with real estate. Kara Kehoe is a great example. We've got dozens. So, there's 110 of you, and you all have a vision in real estate. We'll help you achieve that. Thank you for joining us on AMP. But Kara's a great example of that. It's every day she's thinking about something else that will allow her to further educate, further assist people, bring more facts, and grow her expertise. And so that's what imbue your world with real estate means to me, Justin. What's it mean to you?
It means a lot of what we've already discussed today. Just, when you're imbuing your world with real estate, these conversations are going to come up. They're going to lead to you assisting and helping people achieve their goals when it comes to real estate. So
anything home.
Anything home. And this is something that, that I started really driving home in myself mentally when I joined AMP, was imbuing myself with real estate, not being a secret agent, not being, shut off to the opportunities that the world presents to us every day. And so I love that as a Mindset Matters topic. And Steve, I think you practice that as well. I know that you imbue your world with real estate and with mortgage and with coaching. And, if you're going to be successful, in my opinion, it's a requirement to imbue your world with that.
Yeah. Again, I think it just all goes back to having like a guiding, destination, goal, whatever you want to call it, right? Like otherwise you're just kind of aimlessly, going through your career with no targets. Like you're going to have, if you have like random inputs, you're going to have very random outputs, right?
Yeah.
So if you don't have something directional guiding you, steering you, it's just inevitable that your success is going to kind of mirror the same, effort that you put into it.
If you can keep it that simple, one of the things that has been studied a lot, this isn't mine, you go through a day and they've asked folks, in order to have a proper mindset, should I be filling my mind with more positive thoughts or fewer negative thoughts? And the answer that most people give isn't the correct one. They say it's more positive thoughts. It isn't. It is fewer negative thoughts. They come into your mind a lot. When a negative thought comes into my mind, I start praying immediately. Shut it down. I just pray. Just ask for help. Now, you can meditate, you can pray, you can get the negative stuff out of your head quickly. So
your negative self-talk will derail you faster. You can convince yourself of anything.
Way more negative thoughts come into the typical human being's head than positive thoughts.
I think shut them off. For me, like one thing I try to do at the end of every day, and I'm not 100% at it, but I'm pretty good at it, is like to just take, before I kind of shut it down, I use a remarkable tablet, it's laying off camera, but like before I end my day, I try to just make a little gratitude list and just write down for the day, like what are 3, 4, 5 things that just went well? Because no matter, everybody's day has things, if you dwell on it, then in your mind, the day went to hell in a handbasket, right?
Yeah.
Like, but you missed all of those little moments throughout the day that went well. And it's just a great way to kind of bookend whatever happened. And you usually walk away feeling a little better, kind of shoulders back. You're like, oh, okay, well, that wasn't so bad.
Yeah.
You can find anything. Maybe, your kid said something to you that just like, gave you
made your day.
Yeah, just made your day, right? So I think finding those moments, because if you don't, the world we live in is very negative, right?
Sure.
So if you don't go active, like this isn't a passive exercise, right? To like practice positive self-talk. Like you got to actively go seek it, because otherwise, there's going to be plenty of negative that gets dumped into it, in just the media, social media, unless you just live under a rock somewhere, which most of us don't. So you've got to actively go seek and want to find that, I feel like.
Yeah, I agree. All right, guys, we've talked about a lot of great stuff today. We've talked about business planning. 2026 is right around the corner. It's a good idea to get a jump and start thinking about your 2026 goals and your 2026 business planning now before it's too late. If you want to do that, book a consultation or an appointment with Mark to set up your 2026 business plan. That's an offer out there to all the AMP agents, all the Red One agents, and even if you're an agent that's not with AMP or Red One and you're watching this, feel free to reach out to us. We'd love to talk to you as well. Big shout out to our sponsors here on the AMP podcast. We've got Vault Title, Red One Realty, obviously, Vault Title, Covita Lending, and Safe Pro Home Warranty. We could not do this podcast without our great sponsors. Thank you, Steve Beskid with Covita Lending, for being here once again today.
Thanks for having me back.
Thanks,
Thank
Mark.
you. You're welcome. Thank you, Justin. And thank you, Steve, for being on the boards. We appreciate you as well.
With that, guys, that's a wrap on Season 2, Episode 11. Fail to plan, plan to fail. We'll catch you on the next one.
See you guys.